everyone, welcome back to Union It's Time to Talk, Season 1, Episode 3. This episode is sponsored by Union County Little League Baseball, also Cross the Line Podcast. And today, this is a special episode. This episode is dedicated to the youth, so it's a very special, important message for everyone tuning in. Back with the panel again, once again today, we have Ms. Tamika Wilson, Mr. Anastasia Booker, Mr. TJ Booker, and Mr. Alex Tucker. And today, our very special guest is Mr. AJ Foster. How are you?
Doing good.
Happy to have you here. This, like you said, this is 2020 has been a rough year for everybody, and especially for the youth. So we definitely would value your input with everything that's been going on. Just starting out for everybody that's tuning in tonight, if you feel like you want to chime in, especially the youth, feel free to leave a comment on the Union County It's Time to Talk page. Also, you can chime in and call into the Facebook page, and if you want to do a video. But if not, you can still feel free to leave a comment in the box, and we'll answer any kind of questions that you have. We'll answer them the best we can. But once again, we have Mr. AJ Foster with us. Thank you for being here again. But Mr. AJ, just starting out, now correct me if I'm wrong, you graduated this past year, May 2020. So I know it's been, like I said, it's been a rough year. So how has the COVID had an impact on your graduation and everything? How did that impact you?
It put a setback on everything, but I seen coronavirus as like an opportunity to grind, because everybody just stuck in the house. They gonna start spending money online shopping, just start posting my clothes online, so they can start shopping with me online.
Mm-hmm. So you have your own business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you grow up in a family of like entrepreneurs, or is that was something that you came upon yourself?
I just seen it as an opportunity to be different from everybody else.
Okay.
What's the name of your business?
Squid.
Squid.
Yes,
And what do you sell at Squid?
ma'am.
What do you sell? What do you do for Squid?
Anything.
Anything?
Sweatpants, hoodies, custom jackets, custom pants, custom shirts. Anything. I try to do anything. The more you do, the more product you make, the more money you make.
Okay. Do you make your own clothes as
Yes,
well?
ma'am. Make it
Oh,
all out
okay.
home.
Okay, so you're a designer. Okay. This is perfect from our last episode. We were talking about entrepreneurs, and now we have a young entrepreneur right here. It's awesome.
Alex, you look like you're ready to jump in.
No, I was just admiring the guy, man. Kudos to you, man. Kudos. So, what has entrepreneurship been like for you as a youth in Union? Like, do you feel that you can make money here as a youth in Union?
No, not well. To me, I feel like I just don't belong in Union. I feel like I'm bigger than Union.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna say Union is not a bad place to start a business, but it depends on what the business is in Union.
Okay.
Because Union got like, it's certain stuff that you can do in Union and they'll boom, like your business will boom. But it's certain stuff that you might need a little bit more connections, a little bigger population, stuff like that to make your business grow.
So, that would be for more access and bigger network would be a reason why.
Yes, that'll be because like sometimes, like let's say I got a custom order for a t-shirt or something, and I have to go buy the t-shirt. We don't have a Michael's or an art craft store, we don't have none of that. So I gotta go to Walmart, they might be out. So therefore I gotta drive all the way to Spartanburg just to get supplies for a t-shirt. Then with that, that's just me wasting money on gas. Any other stuff, I mean anything can happen. Me going to Spartanburg, I might bust a tire down, I gotta worry about stuff like that. But if I was in a bigger city, bigger state or whatever, like I could drive down the store to go to Michael's or whatever the case may be, or whatever art store they got around. But around here, there ain't nothing to get to or no connection around here.
Well, let me ask you this. I just want to piggyback. If there were something like a Michael's, would you be more apt to stay here in Union?
No, I still want to. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me ask you something. Is that kind of like, for the kids that's in school, like the kids that you graduated with, was that kind of like the feeling for them as well? How did you get a sense of those kids saying after graduation, I want to get out of Union, or did they say,
everybody got their own different perspective of Union. I mean, like, from what I grew up with, I mean, like, my parents ain't, like, they gave me what I wanted. Like, I had a good life growing up, but it's like, I feel like I can be just better off not in Union. I feel like I'm bigger than Union, but with certain kids, like, they grew up loving in Union, like, they living good in Union. But, like, some kids, like you know what I mean? I can't go
So, what do you think of union as a youth? Like, what is your, when you look at Union
A
County,
bowl,
tell me what you think.
a bowl,
A bowl,
a dead end.
a dead end.
Ain't nothing here for you.
Really?
It's like, but it's certain stuff that's here, but for me, I feel like I'm saying where I'm meant to be.
So what would you consider your ideal city or location you would rather go to?
I mean, right now, being realistic, if I had to move and go somewhere bigger, I'd move like towards the Charlotte area, like Atlanta. There's just like bigger populations, more fashion, stuff like that.
Right, okay.
So,
But my dream is like California, LA, hands down.
so you feel like as far as youth, millennials, young people, you know, what is Union lacking? Like,
Everything. Like, you gotta go to Spartanburg just to get an outfit.
so,
It's like,
urban,
Retail.
yeah,
retail,
everything, stuff like that. We eat the same food every day, every week. And ain't nothing
Technology.
different. Yeah, it's like you just, I mean, how long it took for them to build that stadium and redo that? The high school don't even got its own stadium.
it's not, you feel
You
like
need
it's
just
not
behind. I say it's behind, I say that.
as far as young, as the youth and the younger generation is.
That's the way I feel.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, let me make sure, I want to be clear. We're not picking on you. We wanted you to come in and give your input because you're
yeah.
more connected to the youth than we are since you just graduated. I don't want you to feel like you're being attacked or anything. We just want your insight on all of this stuff because, like I said, you're closer to these kids than we are, the ones that are growing up now. So you have more of an insight of how they may look at these kind of things. So that's why we wanted you, we're happy to have you on today. So don't feel like you're attacked or
No, I
anything.
know the vibe.
And we're glad you coming to us like that because now we know what you think. And you're representing a lot of children your age that think like you also. Some may not. But it's good that you are open with us in that. And maybe this is a learning process for us all, so we can get to the bottom line of what's going on. Because if all you feel like you feel, what's going to happen?
Yeah,
Everybody be gone.
yeah. What's gonna
I mean,
happen?
like, you just need to progress. Everybody needs to just move forward. Don't move back, just move
How
forward.
do we do that from a youth's perspective? How does Union move forward, progress, get better?
Let me piggyback off of that. Do you think that we need to look at how we govern in Union County? Like our mayor, our county supervisor,
I feel like we just need just more, just progress, be bigger.
economically?
Yes,
So more opportunities economically?
yeah.
Okay.
But like, you can start a business in Union, but like, you just gotta look at what's around Union. Like, let's say if I see some people over here and all of them got like some fluffy dogs or whatever, I'm gonna be like, okay, I see more people with fluffy dogs than a pit bull, so I'm gonna go start a dog grooming business. Like, it's just stuff like, you just gotta figure out your surroundings, know your area, see what's
So
going on.
potential entrepreneurs who, for instance, based on what you said, there's not a Michael's, there's not a place where crafts people can kind of get stuff.
Yeah.
So if I were to open up a business like that, then that might incentivize you to consider Union a little bit longer,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And then if there's a different types of restaurants. So I think it sounds to me like if we have people who are concerned about those things and maybe they're thinking about how to get into a business or break into a business, anything that's missing, that's the business you probably need to bring to your county, right? And then people would, oh, you know what, we already have that here. I'm not gonna go over to Spartanburg, I'm gonna try them first and try that.
Would you be open to, of course, would you be open to starting that business? Is it something that Union lacks, or is it for you in your mind is already made up that you just want a new change of scenery?
I mean, with that being said, you really don't know what life may hold. So right now, my mind is set on I got to get out of Union. That's my goal. I don't want to be here like I got to. But as life goes on, like you said, I might want to open up a store in Union. Things may change over time.
Anytime you get ready to open a business, first thing what happens is you gotta have money.
Yeah.
And if it's already hard for a person, somebody who listens to him, if it's already hard for a person to start a business, And say if I want to jump up and go to California, now you know what brings on with
I
California?
mean, California, it's expensive. Like,
You got it.
yeah,
So now you come out there starting the business out, and now you don't have no money.
yeah,
You know, you don't have no
yeah.
money.
But that's what time comes. You gotta grind. Like I ain't to go up and move to California, but stuff like that, you gotta take time with that. That's just something. That's my dream. That's like
Yeah.
where I want to end up at.
I like California too, but I'm the type that I can get in a jet, go over there, spend a couple of weeks, and I'm coming back.
You got
That's just how.
Yeah.
That's how I try to tell young people. You know, and not only do I want to just limit myself to California, I might decide, hey, look, I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to California, stay 2 weeks, head to Hawaii. In a place like this, it's easy to afford that kind of stuff because.
Because of housing and stuff like that.
And then like right now, with any business, with the market that you go in through now is social media. And you can reach out. We got a guy right now by the name of Michael. He has a clothing line. Michael sells to everybody.
February, right?
Everybody.
February.
He has, I think one person he told me, this girl, he showed me this Instagram model. She got about 3K followers.
Right.
I saw a video she had Michael's shirt on.
I look up Mike. I
Yeah.
seen him a couple times at Hibis, and he told me about the lady that do his embroidery on his logo. But yeah, I look up to Michael. That's like who I look up to because he been doing it. And I'm like, okay. But with that being said, it's two different vibes right there.
Yeah. But see, Michael, he types right now. Excuse me, I mean, 'cause Michael, he kind of got a good going because,
Yeah.
for one, he works to bring him some income.
Yeah.
So now we talked about that last week in entrepreneurship. When you're working and you got income coming in, and especially when you live at home with the parents, now you can stack up.
Yeah, I mean, like
So-
a 9 to
so,
5 ain't bad. A 9 to 5 is gonna put you where you want to be at and get you to where you got to go.
Yeah. So what we're saying to you is like, or anybody who may be listening who may think the same way, is that when you got a mom, if you have a kid or so, and you say, hey mom, I need you to help me out. Daycare kind of high. I'm trying to start this business. Mom, how about I give you $50 to watch my kid this week? Versus being somewhere where now I gotta have a babysitter, and I don't have connections because I was at home. But with social media, you can be anywhere.
Yeah, but stuff
You
like
know.
that, that's what I mean, like with connections. We was in a bigger city of the union was progressed forward, you'll get more connections.
Yeah. But what hurts Union is a lot of time all our young people decide to go because of where we at, and it puts us in that same bowl that you was talking about.
Yeah.
So imagine this union. Let me just paint a union for you, right?
Okay.
A union. Centralized location, right? You got your beach. You got Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours away. You got Charlotte, major city, one of your places you said you go to, but an hour away.
Nice, yeah.
Right? You got Atlanta, major fashion
2 or
place,
3 hours.
3 hours
right?
away.
But then guess what you don't have in those places that you do have in Union? The cost of living.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line when it comes to business excellence.
Right? So would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond?
I'd rather be, and see with stuff like that, okay, like you said, a big fish in a small pond, but a little fish in a big pond. If I was a little fish in a big pond, you always can grow to be the big fish.
There's an opportunity to get swallowed up in that pond.
If you play a card right, you ain't gonna get swallowed.
But if you're the biggest fish in the pond, you don't have to play any cards. They gotta play theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Union has an opportunity for you to brand yourself, like really and truly, you could go to the newspaper here in Union, say, hey, I'm the #1 designer here in Union, right? Do a story on you, now you got press. You could go, not saying I'm not challenging you, but your connections here, your resources here, your power base here is much greater than if you travel 1,000 miles to California. I'm not saying not to pursue your dreams,
Yeah.
because I'm all for people pursuing their dreams, but I'm just saying about talent retention. Once you leave us and you become this #1 designer in the world and have all of these accolades, what did you leave us?
I'm gonna come back and build me a building.
You do that?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you don't come back and get back to the town, because I'm all about trying to get talent back here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got talent. I saw your work is really nice. And
What's
I
your
think- yeah.
website? So I can type it in. You have a website? website?
No, I got Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Squid.co, SQXID.
And see, the thing about it, like what we're here, what you're here for, is that kind of stirring you some of the things that I could wish somebody would have told us.
Yeah.
You know, we all had that dream. I did what you said. I took off to Atlanta. Man, I got there and I was like, Mama wasn't there, nobody was there to help, and it was like.
But stuff like that, you gotta just be ready to take that risk, take that jump. But
Your risk
in
taker.
Union, like Union's so small, like a bigger city like Atlanta, California, stuff like that. I mean, you already know it's gonna change. Your surroundings gonna change. You gotta think about stuff like in California, they gotta pay for parking. We ain't gotta do that over here.
They have traffic.
Yeah, they have
They don't
traffic.
have it.
We gotta do that. Back road.
And guess what? We got people right now from California looking at you because of this podcast. Friends, our friends are looking at this. I'm telling you, it's so easy to reach out, but what's hard is to keep you guys in this pool so we can grow as a town instead of.
Okay, now I see where you coming from. 'Cause-
So-
And, but hold on, let me give you one time. @squid.co. That's it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Squid as in fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that once upon a time, Charlotte wasn't a big town, as big as it is.
But they
But
progress.
it progressed, and it took those people to stay there. It took the youth. It took the youth to take on some things as well. I think that's oftentimes an issue here. Our youth leave. They leave Union
Yeah, but-
instead of jump in. The same way you're ready to jump in your business, jump in and help this town grow. Because leadership, you don't have to have qualifications.
It doesn't have age.
It don't have
age either.
You're leading right now in
You
this
know,
podcast.
you know why I said you? Because I see you. I see you standing out. You're a leader. You know, and it takes a lot of youth that have that mindset to make this a better, like you speaking up and saying what you think would progress this town, that helps. It helps so much. Like, because a lot of us, I'm not old, but I'm older than you, you know. I'm still a millennial, but I'm an older millennial. So I think technology-wise, and there's a lot of things I feel like we can use to progress
It's
too.
like the stuff they do around you, like the old Bible building. They turned it into a church. Like what?
Well, churches could be good, but like Tamika just now, she gave your website out. A lot of people never knew who you were until you came on here, but you see how she reached out and said, what's your website, what's your Instagram, and you put it on there. You know, somebody watching right now say, you know what, I think I want to help that guy out with his business. But what it takes from you is what happens to the young people. You got to make sure you do the right things while you're here in this town, because sometimes we can get caught up in things that will hurt you no matter where you go. Now you can't travel because you done something that's going to prevent you from traveling. See, that's the thing. You know, I know you like fish, hunt, and all that kind of stuff. So doing positive things helps in networking with people who, with the like mind that you got. Like Tamika just writing down that website for you. But far as running now, oh man, you can hit a link, sponsor it, and it's all over the world. Like Michael, he's selling stuff everywhere. And Michael, you know, he might want to leave one day, but Michael make a move right now because he still has help from people. We're just being honest with you, not trying to attack you or nothing.
We do have a question from Latasha Johnson. She asked, what would make you stay in Union County? I think you kind of hit on it before, but would you reiterate
What would
what
make
you're
me
talking
stay?
about? What would make you stay?
If Union was just to progress, get bigger.
Get bigger. And when you say bigger, something like Spartanburg size would
Yeah,
would
like that was
suffice
like if Union was like Spartanburg right now,
you?
it would be so much different.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would be different.
Okay. And I asked that to be very specific because people in their mind, they say, oh, it's got to be as big as Atlanta. It's got to be.
No.
But Spartanburg is very specific and it's probably doable
Yeah.
for us to connect. And I talk about the 176 corridor. So, you know, you take that 4-lane over to Spartanburg. If there was stuff all along that corridor, people probably stay here.
Yeah, it was
Right.
straight woods.
Right? It's just woods, right?
But I remember, to me, since you said that, I remember a friend of mine, he used to live on Woodrow Road. And he was like, Woodrow Road was just like Highway 49. It was just country. Now you go look at Woodrow Road. But
Yeah.
Strong Thurman would always say Union County was the only pearl left in South Carolina that's not been developed yet because you're out from everywhere.
Yeah.
We the only place, Spartanburg can't grow no more. What can they do?
But they gonna come in the union,
What
they gonna buy us.
They can't grow anymore. Charlotte can't grow. But Union is the
But
only
they're
place
still
that grow.
growing.
But they're still growing.
They're still,
Yeah.
and they're gonna eventually bump up against Greenville.
Yeah.
And if they come our way, they're gonna bump up against Union.
Just like they did Barn Springs, like
Just like
Barn Springs, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we got that road there. It's coming. And the airport we just expanded. What's so great about that is now these companies say, look, I don't gotta fly to Greenville. I can fly to Union, like G-Stamp and all those places. They can fly right here.
Drop a load off.
And guess what they say they like about Union? Their airplane miles, we talk about it take an hour to get there, right?
Right.
Guess how many airplane miles is it? 10.
Wow.
Because you're in an airplane, difference.
Nautical miles, yeah.
Yeah, no, you just going straight across.
Not
We got to go around curves and stuff
Yeah.
in a car. That's how you can drive an airplane so far. But right now, Union County airplane miles, 10 minutes from everywhere. 10 minutes from Columbia. So that's why thank God that they expanded that airport down there so we can eventually grow. Unlike, you had some people with 26. When they wanted to come through Union, you had people say, no, for a heavy Union growth, we just made a milestone by developing that airport so that we can get these companies to say, well, I go to Union because I travel by jet, I can go there now.
Okay, but with some of that being said, if you go look around Union, how many empty buildings you see? How many buildings you see up for sale? How many buildings you see for lease?
Yeah,
But once again, big fish, small pond. You got a lot of buildings for lease. That means a lot of opportunity for you.
that means.
You got a clothing brand, right? You got the internet. You have an online store, and you have a brick and mortar. You're a big fish. Yeah.
I would add to you that sometimes I think we gotta think outside the box as far as if there is a building, and perhaps it was in a residential area. So this is where you learn about zoning and okay, well, this building is so close to the retail, I'm gonna petition to get it rezoned so that I can turn this house, because you go to Spartanburg, how you go straight to Spartanburg Pine Street, all those houses are businesses now. And they lease those spaces to lawyers, doctors, and all that stuff. It's not the kind of traditional sense of like if you go into a Hibbett's or something. It's taking that space and rethinking, reimagining, because you're creative, you're a designer. You literally have a yellow building, and it's the only yellow building on that block, and everybody knows that's your building.
It's
You're
gonna
not
stand
going
out.
there.
It's gonna stand
It's
out.
gonna stand out. And not only that, instead of you paying the bill for that building, you've leased out space, retail space, and you're helping out other entrepreneurs. So now there's 5 designers in the same building, and now it's the House of Squid. Okay? You see how I just progressed that? And I think, I know we had the Chamber of Commerce on last time, and I've been approached about how can we help entrepreneurs in Union County. So, I want to challenge all of us to maybe pledge to do something that's kind of in our wheelhouse, if you will. And I want to pledge to maybe bring some type of incubator space to help you so that we can tell you, you know what, we have 5 individuals who need some type of brick and mortar space. Let's pursue that. And it becomes, y'all's space. I have no vested interest. I have enough money. It is not about me, but it's about promoting you. And then if you decide, House of Squid is expanding, I gotta go to California now. But my base is always gonna be in Union County. And that becomes part of your story. I started here, I got too big for Union, and now I'm in California. You feel me?
Yeah.
You gotta think outside, what she said, you gotta think outside that box. Sometimes you don't look at, sometimes say, what's not there, what can I put there?
Yeah.
Or what can I do? And when you got family to help you, that's the main thing. Like your mom, your dad could help you paint that building or so. And we have a lot of buildings around here that need to be worked on.
Yeah.
Like you said, a lot of those houses that you could see going down the main street, they can be turned into businesses.
South Church Street.
So all of that.
That whole corridor is ripe for folks that are interested
Right.
and
Right.
want to take a chance, to go.
What do you think that rent would be for some rent?
For right now,
For
man,
rent.
he probably bought one of them buildings for $20,000, you know, and invest another 10 in there. You know what a $20,000 a month mortgage is? Right now, when it's the interest rate is like zero, man, you talking about $300 a month rent.
Probably cheaper than that.
You can go work at my buddy Jimmy at the Galaxy. You go to my Jim McCormick, you can go see my buddy Jim McCormick at Fresh Air Galaxy and bag groceries for him, and then take your money and pay yourself and be able to do that.
Or continue working at Dollar General. And
Or wherever you are, Dollar General.
Yeah.
All our local businesses, we glad we have. You know, yeah.
So let me ask you, what's your favorite thing about you?
My favorite thing about you, I say, I don't know.
Family?
Family, fishing,
Friends?
friends,
Y'all gonna say like the people.
the people, yeah.
Like I feel like we all don't got nothing, so we all together with us.
But we're trying. But this like minds are doing right now, is we're trying to get something.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're doing.
All we trying to get right.
Yeah.
Ain't much we can do though, but we trying.
Well, let me tell you something, and pull it back up. Albany Foster,
That's it, fun.
proud of you, AJ.
Before I get to my next question for the panel, I just want to let everybody know this is season 1, episode 3 of Union's Time We Talk, and it's sponsored by Union County Little League. And this next question is for the panel. And I'll let anybody start out, but just hearing the stuff that Mr. AJ is saying, what do you feel like we may have dropped the ball as Union as a whole may have dropped the ball?
Let me go first. I think as a whole, it's at school. We teach things that shouldn't be taught and things that should be taught, like balancing the checkbook, starting a business, being able to do your taxes. I think we should offer those classes
Yeah.
that you really gonna need when you leave school, instead of keep taking our children down to Rose Hill every year. We gotta go down to the plantation. That makes me so mad. You know, I think that's so kids go to school. They're like, "What am I in school for? For you to keep telling me about the Civil War and how I was a slave when you could be telling me what I can take or what I can do." That's my take on it.
Yeah, cause I wish somebody could have told me from the start a business, start early,
So
be consistent, stuff like that.
would you say you've been lacking mentorship in this town? Like somebody would just say, hey,
I wouldn't say I'm lacking mentorship because stuff like that, you gotta more on your own. You can't have nobody just teach you everything. You gotta try to get up and do it yourself.
so a self-starter, okay.
Yeah.
No, I admire that. Now, to answer that question, Carlos, you said about, based off everything he said, I really just think I'm gonna agree with Tamika here about the governing and the vision. Obviously, you have a certain vision that you want Union County to be as a youth to stay here, and maybe our current leaders can't see your vision, or maybe they're working towards it, and you on this timeline like, I need this to happen now, and maybe we're 10 years down the line from that. Would you consider 10 years? Would you stay for 10 more years? 28, you're 18 now.
It's a long.
We can think, what y'all think?
Yeah, that's
It goes by so fast. I'm kind of telling our age a little bit. We graduated at the same time, but we really didn't. They didn't really teach us about entrepreneurship like that either.
Never thought about it.
Yeah, so I feel like, honestly, time really is up. Like, it's time to really make change now. Like, it's been far too long. Like, the money is going to these same businesses. We haven't really progressed. That's why I feel like this election and voting this year is very important, which it always is. But I feel like really waiting 10 more years, time is up. It's too long.
We don't have 10 years.
We need to make change now because this has been going on way too long. Like you said, if we wait another 10 years, how many more kids are we gonna lose that could go in different places?
We'll be dead. What y'all think?
I will, can I jump in before you, Stacy? So you talked about kind of governance. I was trying to lead you in that, governance. Do you feel like, well, I don't want to ask you a question. Let me answer the first question. I feel like we haven't done a good job of bringing the youth into our government structure. So you may not even understand what it takes to, what the taxes are being paid, the infrastructure, how do we pay for things that get done in Union County? And quite a few of us don't know how some of those things work. I just learned yesterday at a conversation that we are one of 3 counties, there's 46 counties in South Carolina, and we are one of 3 counties that have the current form of government that we have, where our county administrator is elected official. Most places hire that person. They are professional. They know what it needs to do city planning, urban planning. We have great people that want to do a good job, but the bandwidth for that capability is limited, because it means that I can get hired on that as that job, elected into that position without the experience, because that's how our form of government is. So until we start having that conversation about changing our government and making sure that we have candidates who are thinking like you and progressive and say, you know what, we're going to be bringing in businesses and retail, and we're going to be educating our students with a curriculum that talks about financial literacy, that talks about entrepreneurship. Because I don't think I've used algebra a lot in my career, and I'm an engineer. So I've done project management though. I can tell you all about that. So there is a difference in what we're getting, what we got in school, and what we should have been given in school. So, Stacey?
I agree with what all of you said. I feel Union needs to give a voice to those they haven't given a voice to in so long, and that includes minorities, that includes youth, that includes a lot of people who haven't been given a voice, who haven't been given a platform. You have other people speaking for you who don't even understand your vision. Yeah. So that in itself is not growth. That's never going to be growth. So until like this country is starting to do in some places, you put younger people in office, you put minorities in office, you put women, different people, different diversities. You have to be diverse. A diverse platform or panel, it'll get us somewhere. We don't have that.
Yeah.
If I was to be in a position where I could change Union, like I put some in Union to like for the youth, for them to stay.
Okay, let me give you a pro about Union. Let me tell you about how we got this. We have a fair amount of money here in Union, right? And we spend that money on things that make us money, right? So, for example, Union County will pay for the sewage, roads, all of that for a major company to come in here. Whenever you ever, we don't make them pay to come here. So that's the beauty. That's why I say, for us to expand over 10 years, it could be a building here this month, a building here that month. We pay for people to come to us, right? We got a solar panel over there, close to 49 solar farm that's being built over there. So we're going solar. Right. And we have the hydroponics plant out there in Cross Keys. That plant is Union built. You know what humanetic CSL plasma is? We built that building for someone to move in and customize it for themselves. So we're no stranger to investing in our town to build it. So that's just one thing, speaking towards doing things.
That's taking us so long.
Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome was not built in a day.
And what really good is like people always have in mind, we don't have nothing to do, so they take off running. And I always ask, what is it that you want to do?
I mean, okay, so every Friday night with Corona, people can watch football game. Let's say we ain't got a football game. Everybody what we gonna do? That old Walmart building been sitting over there years. Somebody could have renovated that out, turned it to a little mini club or whatever, do something.
Yeah, they starting, like you said, we're starting to do them type things now. But what we're doing as a panel is trying to change our mindset. So looking at Union better with a mentality of saying, what can I do to make it better, make it grow, instead of criticizing it, because criticizing it is not going to get us nowhere.
Yeah, but what can
I'm not talking about you.
So what can the youth do?
Yeah, like what can you do to make that building to?
Man, y'all want to
You
dream.
know
Y'all
what?
have the
I got an
strength.
answer for you.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that, and I look at the Amish, they really kind of got it hands down when they do barn raising. You ever seen a barn raising? So the whole community comes together to literally build a barn for a family. And that's part of their livelihood. And I think what we've kind of gotten away from, and maybe we didn't really kind of take advantage of that aspect of how we live, is, let's take TJ's barbershop, for instance. People have paint parties for their apartments, right? Well, why don't we do the same thing for businesses? Let's do a sweat equity entrepreneur workshop. Okay, when you come here, you're gonna paint, we need somebody that knows electrical, we need somebody that knows plumbing, whatever your skill set is, and we're gonna donate that to TJ. And now his business just got an upgrade, and he didn't have to come out of pocket. All those people donated their time, but now they can also put that on their resume. TJ's building becomes an upgrade. I can write it on my resume. Oh yeah, I was part of that team. And you can talk about that. And that's really thinking outside the box. And a lot of cultures, a lot of folks do that type of work. We don't really learn that. We're not taught that. We don't talk about it like that. It's always like, well, I gotta do it on my own. I gotta hustle and grind on my own. But you really don't. You really don't. Because it costs money, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to get a grant or a loan to do everything I just said, but if I could get 10 people to come here and donate their time and skills, wouldn't that be better for you and everybody else, right?
Yeah, it's sort of just like y'all remember a little while back when people was doing you donate $100, go get 2 people and do that, and everybody put their money in the pool and then they just triple. That's what she's talking about, and you know what I mean by that. You took all your money, you put it together, and then you invest. And I don't even know what the investment went, but you would turn around and put in 100, you get 400. Just imagine if you go in there and just like she said, you're gonna build one building. And then we turn around, your turn, next time we do the next building. And that's what you young people can do, because you have that energy. You have that energy, you have that strength. The race is ran by the younger people. That's what y'all can do, and as a people, we failed at that by telling people go sit back in the room like they used to do in the old days when young kids like, we talking, get out of here. We need to take that energy y'all have and do that. It's sort of like, what's the movie? Are we there yet? What you talking about? No, are we done yet?
Okay, yeah.
Are we done yet?
Right.
You know what I mean? Where they took the whole community when they built that house.
Right.
That's exactly what I see. Exactly what you mean.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, like you said, that how you were told, we had that mentality that young people go sit down, don't worry about it. It's old, it's grown people.
Yeah.
Older people are supposed to teach the younger people.
Yeah,
A lot of older people should take that time out and God, if you have that experience, you have that knowledge, and you see someone younger that is trying to gain that experience and knowledge and get somewhere and grow, that's where you step in and you help them out.
There used to be this time where we would make sure that whatever job I had, I would have an apprentice. So that I could train you on everything that I know how to do. So I would, even though you're young, you're 18, I think you should already think about, I'm gonna train somebody up as an apprentice. Because like you talked about, I wish somebody had told me, find 2 or 3 young people that are just like you and start training them now. And feeding them that knowledge now. Because like I said, in 10 years, you're gonna be in California, you're gonna be blowed up, and now they are in the same position that you're in now. But they don't have to work as hard. They're already in the game. They're already moving and hustling, and they're part of your larger brand, right? And House of Squid. I'm speaking into existence. Right?
What you said, what can the youth do? What you can do, CEO of Squid.co, is use your spotlight and take it very serious, right? You're the first designer that I met in person that has, show me a product that's done this, right? You have such an opportunity to shine in the union because who else besides Michael, by the way, February brand, Michael's brand. You really have no competition here. You really have no competition.
On person I know is Michael. Just me and Michael.
You got Sean, you got so many places to make this such a spotlight for you. Imagine Vogue reaching out to you and saying, hey, we like what you're doing, we mind if we feature in this magazine, and you still live in Union County now, you just branch that away. Like, word of mouth travels fast, quality travels fast, talent travels fast, you know. So what can you do to help change Union? Continue shining, but toot your horn out places and tell them, I'm from Union County. We have great youth here. Our youth are doing things. Our youth are going off to 4-year degrees. Our youth are starting businesses. Our youth are helping out the community in this ways like that, you know. Yeah, so like you said, that, yeah, shine for us. Yeah.
Would you be interested in participating in an entrepreneurship, like a virtual session for free?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me get your information, and I'm gonna set something up. I've talked to Chamber of Commerce, and we are gonna try to set something up where you guys can call in. And it might be a whole day type of thing, but so when you're free, you'll be able to come in and maybe ask your questions and get some guidance, that kind of thing. And we want to be able to maybe do it as a series where it's not just a one-time thing. I think a lot of people get frustrated. It's just, oh, okay, well, they helped me this one time and then they kind of dropped me. They kind of left me. So we want it to be something that we can sustain. So make sure I get your information after this.
Before we move on, also just let everybody know this is sponsored by Union County Little League, and also if you have any questions or comments, you feel free to call in, or you can leave a comment and we will answer your questions. To everybody again at the panel, let's say if we take everything he said, and we need to write it out, everything down on a sheet of paper, and we just take this paper. Who do we take this to? Not calling out any single individual, but say this is what our youth want. Who do we give this to? Like, how do we get this started?
Union County, the school. I mean, that's where all the youth is connected at school. I mean,
Well-
it's only one school in Union.
Well, see, that's when you go to your school board. They are elected officials. You go to your school board and you say, look, we want you to start incorporating these classes for this town. You go to Spartanburg, they do that. You know, they have.
I feel like they'll give you a better drive to do something.
Yeah. So, but it takes voting. It takes putting in the right people. But you would go to the school board for us. That what we're gonna try to teach our children while they're in school. Like I said, I don't mean to knock, you know, those trips that you always giving us. But come on now, what do that gain?
I do want to add something. You just gave me an idea though. I think probably the composition of the school board needs to change. And so the school board should have a representative from the high school, from the junior high, and the middle school. These are students, and they're voting members on the school board. And they can then tell them firsthand. And I think, now this is really getting out of the box, you know what I mean, really thinking outside the box. Because too often, the people who are trying to make decisions for you are out of touch.
Out of touch.
They don't know
Yeah,
what's
absolutely.
going on,
Yeah.
they look at it from their perspective only. But if there was a position that you could run for, and when you were in high school and you could be part of the school board, would you have done it? So that you could make change? Okay. See, now that's the other thing I'm gonna put on my.
You know, maybe there
list
is
of things to
truly
do.
be like a junior
School
school
board.
board, because
And then they can have joint meetings as well.
And you need a senior school board, so people who've been through that like us and say, what did we didn't get from school? You know, like I was telling you about my buddy Jim McCormick on the Fresh Air Gas. He told me and taught me because he was an entrepreneur, and he led me and he told me how to start a business and that kind of thing.
And you know, not to knock anybody on any board, but if you were to take everything he said and you present it to any board in Union, how many would make those changes? Because a lot of them are not in touch with what he feels, what he sees. He's a youth. He can
He's the future.
understand
Right.
better than someone who is in their 40s, married, has a home,
They don't
has a
see the
career.
youth perspective from Union.
Right.
Exactly.
Even when I started my barbershop, I wasn't in touch with Facebook. I was like, I'm not gonna touch Facebook. I know this is messy, but it was people that cared about me, said, TJ, let's take some pictures. We're gonna put your business on Facebook. And next thing you know, I don't even post some of my pictures because it's too many. Yeah.
There it is.
I got too many customers. I don't even post pictures because I can't do all the work, you know. But that type of thing, we really need to focus on what you guys can do. You guys can do that because you know how to set these pages up. You know, even at this Union time we talk,
Yeah.
I got my youth in here, what my youth do? They went on in there, they built the websites and all that.
We got youth, we got diversity, you know, not very diverse, but we got diversity here. You know, we all got different backgrounds, we all got different platforms,
Different perspectives.
different perspectives.
You know, Latasha Johnson makes a good point, and she talks about how, and probably one of the most segregated places that we have in Union County is the church. We have white churches, we have black churches. And she talks about how white churches will take their youth to do and explore things that they've never done before. And I've seen these programs in larger cities, like we talked about, where, you know, when's the last time somebody took you to a design studio? You know, took you to
Like stuff like that, I have to do it on my
right.
own.
You have to do it on your own. So we have to, you know, you talked about what we could do, what you talked about, Carlos. We should be sponsoring because we can afford to.
Yeah.
We should be sponsoring those youth trips, that youth exploration, and then we used to have some of that when I was growing up, but it seems to have died down. And everybody's going to talk about, oh, it costs money, but churches have money. So what are they doing with the money? Let's get our kids out of after church. Now let's go and see something else. Let's go do something. Go to a museum. Go to see how a business is run and that kind of thing. So thank you, Latasha Johnson.
Yeah, you know, speaking to that about, you know, the difference in churches, you know, growing up, I did New Horizons Vacation Bible School.
Yeah, I did that.
What's up,
It's
people?
Just for the weekend, for a week.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, I know they took us somewhere every time, right?
So my church did too, they would take us swimming pools and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like Miss Powell. You
Yeah,
said, you know, her dad's farm.
Right.
Take them kids to that farm so that, you know, you need farmers.
Yeah.
That's a lucrative business too, you know.
Yeah.
Take her down there instead of taking them to
And
the
you got
roads,
like
you know.
Mickey gets there. Mickey couldn't take a whole church full of people, but he could take 3 or 4 guys and say, let's go check out and meet the Panthers owner right here.
Yeah.
Let me go introduce you to these people. You know, so when you say like finding those people that can have those connections for you, you know, they're around.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just bump into them, right? In a conversation like this, you know. So, when I hope you stay. I hope you stay. I hope you stay, and I hope you continue.
I think we give him no reason to. Now he see that we're taking interest to kids out there who think like him. Reach out to somebody, you know, and let them know that you have plans that you want to do. But if you never talked to us and told us that, we want to know.
And also, I want to say that when you're reaching out to people, also reach out to people that don't look like us because they want things also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, us as black people, we can get some things done, but when we reach across and reach out to the other people, white people, they can get stuff rolling a lot quicker too. So we reach out to them because they have family members in those offices, and just like we do, if they can get in touch with their family members that hold those positions,
Yeah.
and y'all come together and we get to them, we'll get things rolling a lot quicker than you think, instead of just being separated like we just want what we want and they want what they want.
Yeah.
So if you reach across to them, we can get some things
You know, this is all Union County, and we gotta look at each other as we Union County. We need to look at and help each other out.
And like you said, we're Union County, we're like a family.
Yeah.
Families have to reach out to each other.
Yeah.
It's not just up to the youth to reach out to those who have that experience and knowledge, it's also up to those experienced people to reach out to the youth.
Yeah.
And if both sides reach out, that's how you grow. Because I'm more than sure that those other counties and towns that grew, they reached out to each other.
Yeah.
Someone came in and was like, okay, I have this, I'm gonna reach out to this group of young people and I'm gonna help them build it. And they're investing in their time in their town and in their place. So their investment in those people in their town, it invests in you in itself. So,
And we have some really good people here in Union that are trying to do that. Dr. Means, she's the principal of Sims Middle School, looking at after-school programs that aren't just about, we're going to do, a couple of easy things, but actually challenging the students to do projects and explore and do some of the things that you're talking about. So,
See, like with stuff like that, if I was in Sims and somebody came to Sims and told me I do show you fashion, show you how to do everything, I would have been started way earlier than where I started at. I could have been did. If that would happen to Sims, I would have been at where I'm at now. I would probably be.
So that's the entry point, you think?
I
Sims, middle
remember,
school.
Yeah, I guess that is that age. Because if you wait too late, it's too far.
You remember Sims, we used to have talent shows.
I thought about that too, just redoing talent shows. And far as these churches are, I just hate to say, I'm a minister myself. Majority, you find this in the Bible, majority of churches are after one thing. That's money. So if they got in their mind, you bring me money, you're going to have that lacking. So you got to take it upon yourself. You got to raise your children to know the difference. And you got to teach them at home, first of all. You got to teach them at home because you expecting somebody else to do it. Sometimes it's not going to happen.
Do you think a good recruiting program, instead of because my church, I went to Bethel, and Bethel was like, the youth come back. I don't even know if Bethel's still running. I don't know what we're doing over there, but look, I'm back. What is a good recruiting program? That was a church that said, hey, tell us what you want to do, young man. Like, if you want to sew, if you want to do all these things, well, we got this member that does this, she can take you under her wing. Or if you want to make music, well, how about you go and work with the band here and everything. Like, instead of forcing the traditional things that churches force on you, what if a church recruited you and wanted to invest in your talents? And then it's just like hey, pay it forward or pay it back when you get there, you know? Like, do you think that would be something that would benefit the youth here or, start to change the attitude around here?
Yeah, I feel like if anybody was to come at the youth, like the younger people, and be like, what you want to do? What you want to do when you get older? But half of you gonna say NFL, NBA, whatever sport.
That's
right.
But see, that's the outlets that we have readily available here. We've had a lot of people go to the next level from this town.
Okay, but
majority of people can't make it.
You gotta have something else for
Yeah, you do.
right, yeah, that's why I'm like, for me, like, it wasn't nobody around to tell me like how to sew and do any of this.
See, like you talking about your design, this guy has an alteration business. But as far as these churches, I mean, I'm not trying to.
I was about to say that.
He's the alteration man right there. But for the church, that's why I go over and beyond.
Yeah.
Because being a minister at Church of Christ, it takes more than just preaching to them. You gotta also go out. What Jesus did, he fed people. I can tell you, I want you to go to heaven all you want, but if your stomach growling, you need to eat.
Yeah.
And as far as you leaving, that's why I do what I do. That's why we come together with this panel, just to get out there. I'm not that traditional preacher you see. They just want you to come Sunday and give me some money. I don't want your money. I want your soul, and I want to see you prosper. I can't prosper if you don't prosper. We all. So that's just for those who said the churches ain't doing what they're supposed to do. You speak on them, but this in here, like, you ain't gonna put TJ in there. I'm trying to get heaven.
So Latasha Johnson asked the question, why doesn't our county sponsor or pay for after-school programs? And she says, I'm still learning. So just to answer that, I can speak on what I'm aware of, is that like the Urban League, which is actually out of Greenville.
He just died,
they actually fund and sponsor after-school programs for folks in Union County. And I mentioned Dr. Means, they are looking for outsourcing, essentially, to bring additional after-school programs into that nobody has to pay for. So if you decide you want to be part of the after-school program, those entities that are feeding into it are going to pay and foot the bill. So the school system's not paying for the bill and footing the bill to make sure that these opportunities are presented to you. So, a fashion club or something like that,
Like go to see them and teach the kids how to do it.
Exactly, just even if it's an hour once a week, that would have been one more hour once a week that you never got, right?
Yeah.
And you'd have been, motivated and say, okay, I can do this. I can actually do this.
Because I feel like if the youth was to start, I feel like the youth more caught up in time. Like, I feel like time running out, like I gotta get out of uni. I got to, like, this is not where I want to be at.
Phone
like,
fear missing out.
Yeah.
And then a lot of youth did that. A lot of youth ran and left. Some went to the military and did real well. They come back, they retired, after 25 years they retired. But you have a lot that went out and they got in the dead circle because they didn't have what she just mentioned. that networking and all
That
that.
is.
Because I guarantee you can go find somebody, AJ, that done left and went and said, man, I thought leaving was just gonna fix me, but it didn't. That's why you gotta be, you gotta learn, and that's what we talk about these programs now, and trying to help you guys out. And we gotta do it as leaders, we have to
With
do it.
that, I see you coming from, because like, let's say I want to move right now. That's just me basically. I'm doing the same thing in union, but I'm paying more.
And you have nobody who you don't know.
Like if I move to Atlanta right now, I'm just gonna be, I'm working right now, making my clothes in my room. This is gonna be doing the same thing in Atlanta, but paying way more a month for someone to stay, eat, stuff like that.
Do you feel like the pressure makes you think like you gotta go like, be like, when you graduate, what you doing next? It's okay to say, I'm gonna stay at home, you know, and I'm gonna build my brain. It's okay to say that.
But
So
some people look at it and be like,
you
staying
lose.
union.
Nah, don't let it.
Like, that's-
There's some millionaires living in union, but I'm tell you that right now.
yeah.
Before we have a couple more minutes before we gotta get Mr. Foster, I wanna ask you one last question. I'll let you say this. You have one message to the youth that's watching, what would you say to them?
Start now. Be consistent. Don't wait on it. If you got something you want to do and you got a dream you want to do it right now. Don't wait. Take that chance now. If you take the chance now, if it don't work out, sit back, look at a different angle, jump back in, do it right now. Be consistent.
Absolutely. I think that's a perfect way to end it. So, Mr. Foster, thank you again for being here with us tonight. Hopefully everybody learned something. If you missed the live tonight, you can find us on Crossline Podcast, CarlosKSmith.com. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Pandora Radio. So, and also thank you again to the Union County Little League for sponsoring this episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have any more questions or concerns, feel free to leave comments. We'll be sure to get back in touch with you. So until next time, keep chasing dreams. This is Union County Little League. Thank you for watching. Union County, it's time to talk.
One more.
Say it, one more.